Loving pranams at the lotus feet of our most beloved Bhagwan. Respected elders, dear sisters and brothers, Sai Ram. Very happy to invite you to the 5th edition of Samarpan. To address us on this occasion, it's my pleasure, privilege to introduce you to Sri Amar Vivek. Sri Amar Vivek is an alumni of Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. He graduated in the first MBA batch of the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. There are a lot of interesting facts about him, some of which is mentioned in the Samarpan brochure, some of it is not part of the brochure. And I try and spend most of my time on the latter. A few things which are there on the brochure is that he is somebody who has won the National Youth Award from the Prime Minister of India. In fact, he currently runs 3 institutions absolutely free of cost: a school, a hospital, and a vocational training center. These are institutions which are about 3 decades old. And in the school, there are about 500 children studying. If you ask Brother Amar Vivek, and you judge for yourself what his age is, but if you ask him what his age is, he will tell you that he is 148 years old. The reason why he says he is 148 years old is because, on account of Swami's grace, in his lifetime so far, he has donated blood 148 times. In fact, there was another brother who was mentioning, saying, BRC, if you get this chance, you definitely must mention this about Amar brother. He says every cell of his body is dedicated for Swami's seva. And I think that's literal as well as figurative. Something which is of great importance to us, a matter of pride to us, which we'd like to mention. For him, there would be other details which are more important. But I'm very proud to tell you that he is currently the Additional Advocate General of Haryana in the High Court of Punjab. Naturally, I can't get into more details, but I will take the courage to say that even while we were waiting outside, he got calls from very highly placed sources. But then, amidst all this, ignoring all those calls, he's decided to respond to Swami's call today and address us as part of Samarpan. With these words, brother, it's as an alumni brother, my pride and privilege to invite you to address us as part of the 5th edition of Samarpan in Sundaram. Jai Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. My most prayerful and respectful pranams at the lotus feet of our most beloved Bhagwan, Bhagwan Shri Sathya Sai Baba, who is always our guide, guard, and guardian. Sai Ram to all my sisters and brothers here. The brother was telling qualifications of mother added to the qualifications of the child, because Swami told, when mother is with you, with her we are heroes, otherwise we are zeros. So it is Bhagwan who is making us speak to each other about his glory, but sometimes we do commit the mistake of adding his glory into our resume and then take pride that we have achieved a lot. Because we remember whenever Bhagwan spoke to us, he never gave us the details of what all he was doing silently, and through millions. But one thing which we often, lack, or we often commit a mistake is that while being with him, we do not even attempt to know what his majesty is, what his glory is. And probably that is the reason we are all here together, that we want to know about him. We just want to bask in his glory. When I was a young child, I remembered a very famous story, but I never knew that I was so close to this place. But today I am here with his grace for the first time in Sundaram, so I cannot help but recall that story. One of those two persons was closely associated to me, so I am recounting it here. It so happened in 1970s, there was a lady teacher in Army School, Jammu. She did not report to her duty for several days. And after few days of absence, when she reported, her commanding officer, one Colonel Bhosle, he admonishes her and tells her that, where have you been? So this lady had tears in her eyes, and she showed her medical reports from Army Hospital, Chandigarh, telling that she had deadly cancer. Now this gentleman, Colonel Bhosle, had probably known that there is one saint, this is what he knew, in South India, known as Sai Baba, and he told her that if you go to him, he will tell you your cancer is cancelled, then your cancer will be cancelled. So she, along with one of her sisters, who was also in Chandigarh, both of them, somewhere in the hot month of April, traveled to Puttaparthi. Old days of traveling to Puttaparthi, changing several trains, they landed at Puttaparthi, only to discover that Swami was not there, he was in Chennai. Some kind bus driver told her that I can drop you the place where Swami would be addressing a congregation of his devotees, probably the old Abbotsbury. So early morning, she was dropped along with her sister by their bus driver. As they were trying to enter that park, she saw hundreds and hundreds of cars. And when she entered that place, she saw a sea of humanity. And at the end, she saw an orange dot, what Swami seemed to her at that time, addressing on the stage. Now it was their turn to be totally disillusioned. Swami's speech they were hearing over a microphone. So both of them, they bowed down on their knees, offered their pranams to Swami. They had tears in their eyes, and they told Swami, we don't know you. We just came to seek you all the way with all the trouble we have undergone. Here you are speaking on Janma, Karma and Dharma, but we thought that you will cure our disease. We are offering you our pranam from here and we are going back. And they offered their pranams and turned back. Suddenly they heard a Sevadal crying, where are Chandigarh sisters, Chandigarh sisters? So they looked back, a gentleman running towards them and telling that Swami has sent Vibhuti for Chandigarh sister, teacher sister. So they were amused. So she said, yes, I am the teacher from Chandigarh. So he quickly arranged a glass of water, mixed Vibhuti in it, make her drink. So she drank Vibhuti, he stuffed few packets of Vibhuti in her hand and then says, Swami has told me to tell you, your cancer is cancelled, you can go back. So they were in tears again, but this time the tears were different. They again offered their pranams, once again from that very place. As they were turning, this man again came running with some more packets of vibhuti, which he inserted in their hand, and he said, Swami wants it to be given to Shivaji, now you go back. So they turned back. Once again they offered their pranams. They reached Chandigarh. Doctors of the army hospital who had examined them 10-12 days back and discovered deadly cancer, they found no cancer. So they were so thankful. And next day she reported back to her office with a box of sweets. She went to her commanding officer, that Colonel Bhosle, and told that, sir, I want to thank you. The Colonel Bhosle was not a believer. He only had heard all this. So he wanted every detail. He wanted everything to be narrated to him in great details. And she narrated that, sir, this is how I happened. I reached there. I was made to drink vibhuti. There were lakhs and lakhs of people and all that. And then he requested that, madam, can I see what is this vibhuti? So she took out one packet and showed it to him. And then he asked, madam, can I get one packet of vibhuti? She said, not one. You can have as many as you want. In fact, that man turned again and gave me some more packets of vibhuti for one Shivaji whom I don't know. He said, I am Colonel Shivaji Bhosle. So that is avatar. And that is what avatar wants us to know him. That without our knowing also, he is transforming us. And sometimes we make his task difficult by refusing to believe that he is here to transform us. Probably when I joined Sri Satya Sai Hostel in 1986, after having done law from Chandigarh, with a lot of logic and reason in my mind, this is what I was to discover, that Swami day in and day out used to have only one message on his lips. The only mode of devotion I prescribe is transformation. So we are all undergoing that process even till date. It so happened that when we joined the hostel, the life was a little tough. It was 21st of August 1986, our first day. My batchmate brother Srinivasan is also here. Fortunately, I am seeing him after long many years. So we know how tough it was in the hostel during those days. It so happened that once there was no water in the hostel. We were assigned the task of, serving breakfast. 14 of us, we were late. And out of remaining 14 students, we were total 28 in the first batch. We told them that you quickly join the class at 7:30 a.m. We will be joining you soon after. Within 15 minutes, we also reached by 7:45. That was the class being taken by our dean. The moment we tried to enter the class, he banged the door on my face and told all of us, get out, you are late. I was taken aback. I thought that, I was serving in the hostel. How can the dean be so rude to us? By 9:30 a.m., we were served show cause notices that for being late by 15 minutes, why should you not be marked absent for one full week? Suddenly, from nowhere, this lawyer in me took birth. And I got absolutely, I felt ridiculous. And I decided to leave this institution. I said, I'm not going to study here. By evening, I packed my bags. Swami had to intervene. He sent one old classmate of mine to my room. He looked at me, looked at my packed bags, and took me to the D floor, top floor of the hostel, and asked me one question. He says, Amar, why did you come here? I said, I came for my studies. He said, no, you are mistaken. MBA you could have got done anywhere in the world. Probably with much better facilities. Why you came here? You came here for Swami. Isn't it? I said, yes, I came for Swami. He said, then why are you going back? It's not that easy that you get your Swami. This Swami is very difficult. but he is very easy if you try to get him. Just decide now whether you have come for MBA or for Swami. That was a very big change in my life. I still remember that moment. I immediately prayed to Swami that, Swami, I was going to commit a very big mistake. That was probably a time that Swami started enlightening us. Swami was always enlightening us, but that light started going in, seeping in our system, that we have come here for Swami, for nothing else. Because if we are near and dear to Swami, as he used to say, then only the purpose of our life would be achieved. Otherwise, our life was just ordinary. We could have excelled as professionals anywhere, but it is the acceptance of Swami, that he would accept us, which would be the only purpose of our life. Soon we were to discover many good things. It so happened that once Swami stopped talking to us, we were all very upset. We used to pray to him. There was an old gentleman. In Mandir time, darshans, he used to come to me often. One day he saw me crying. He said, what happened? I narrated that, sir, Swami is not talking to us for many days. He presented me a book, Sai Satcharitra, on Shirdi Baba's life. And he asked me that you read this book in 7 days, your prayers would be answered. So somehow it so happened that it was holiday time. I finished reading that book in 7 days' time. And last day was Thursday. Our colleges had reopened. I finished reading in the morning. Suddenly a thought crossed my mind that if I would be with my mother in Chandigarh, I would have offered prasadam after reading this book. What can I offer here in hostel? I cannot get anything from outside. So with these thoughts, I went to college. Lunchtime, I quickly rushed from the college, entered the dining hall, thinking that I will hold the paisam tub, I'll get hold of it, and I'll distribute paisam to all students. Because lunchtime on Thursdays, paisam would be served. As I was entering, there was a teacher standing, our Kote sir, and he called me. He says, Amar, are you free for some time? I thought that he'll catch hold of me, he'll assign me some task, and the purpose of serving the paisam would be lost. So I hesitated for a second. I said, yes sir, tell me. He says, no, if you are not free, I'll assign this task to somebody else. I needed some senior boy for some task. I mustered my courage. I said, no, sir, I am there. Please tell me, I am here to serve. He took me inside the store. He said, Swami has sent sweets. I wanted some senior boy to distribute. Good, you are in time. I looked at him and thought that, Swami, I need to be connected to you. The moment I am little disconnected, probably I'll miss all the current which is flowing from your side. And this is where we are all together again. It is his current which is flowing through all of us. And that is how every day we are moving forward, slowly, steadily on his path. And that is what he is doing to all of us. I still remember a very painful day. That was 17th August 1988, when we were to pass out from Puttaparthi, go back to our places. That day Swami called us. He held my hand like this and asked me, what would you give me in return? You got a beautiful education from here. You got Swami from here. What will you give me in return? And I replied, I said, Swami, anything what you say. He said, promise? I said, yes, Swami. And then he says in very strong words, don't bring bad name to Swami. All I want from you in return is, don't bring bad name to me. If you are my students, if you are Sai students, anywhere you go in world, people should recognize you as Sai students. That's all I want from you. On an earlier occasion, Swami asked me, what is your name? When I replied, Swami, Amar Vivek, Swami looked at me and said, Hamara Vivek? I really liked it. Swami turned back again to me. If you are good, you are Hamara Vivek. if you are bad, you are hammer Vivek. That is how Swami plays with our words, our lives, our names, because he loves us. But all of us have to answer this, whether we reciprocate to him the way he wants us to reciprocate. So it so happened that he told me that after you have finished your MBA course, go back and set up law practice in Chandigarh. So I immediately said, no, Swami, I don't want to do law. I will set up a hospital, school, vocational school in a village in your name. He says, no, set up your legal practice. Then I told Swami, no, don't send me to this legal world. Then Swami looked at me and asked, what is the meaning of LLB? And he answered, LLB means live and love Baba. If you live on my words, you love me. If you don't live on my words, how will you love me? So you have two qualifications, LLB and MBA. And you know what is MBA? He said, MBA means mind Baba always. Keep me always in your mind. So go set up your legal practice. This project I will help you to set up. I said, okay, Swami. So I came back to Chandigarh. Probably my age was 24 at that time. I did not know anything about a project to set up a hospital, school, vocational school. I had no idea. But Swami made something happen. I was able to draw a project report. It was named Jagriti. I went to Swami. One day I showed that project report to Swami, which will have a hospital, school, vocational school, free of cost in a village. Swami looked at it. He was flipping through the pages. He took my pen and wrote words Sri Satya Sai Gramin above the word Jagriti. So he named it Sri Satya Sai Gramin Jagriti. He signed it and returned it to me. He says, don't worry, I'll do it for you. I have promised it. And then I asked Swami, because on the front page there was an index where it was mentioned that we require 27 acres land for this project. So I told Swami, I said, Swami, we need 27 acres land. And Swami lovingly looked into my eyes and said, you need my hand. You don't need land. And Swami blessed me. This was probably 5:30 in the evening that day. In the night at 9, I boarded Karnataka Express to come back to Chandigarh. Around me, 2-3 gentlemen were sitting. Suddenly they looked at me and they asked me, sir, today evening you were in Darshan line. We were also there in Puttaparthi. So we started conversing with each other. So they asked me, when I told about this project, sir, we are from Yamunanagar, which is about 110 kilometers from Chandigarh. Why don't you come there? We will give you land. So I, out of my innocence or foolishness, told them that, sir, Yamunanagar is 110 kilometers from Chandigarh. How will I carry out the work there? So they said, sir, just now you said Swami's hand is going to do everything. I said, yes, you are right. So after I reached Chandigarh, next day I went to Yamunanagar. Those gentlemen were there to receive me at the bus station. They took me to one village. We went to that village. It was a beautiful sight. Yamuna river was flowing by its side. We went to the headman, Sarpanch. So I narrated to him that, sir, we will set up a hospital, school, vocational school like this in this place. So he said, okay, sir, don't worry, we have some land, we are ready to donate it to you. So he convened a meeting of the panchayat. All panchayat members, they sat together. So they passed a resolution gifting exactly 27 acres land to us. When they handed over that resolution, I saw two things. One, I saw the name of the village. Other, I saw 27 acre land. Rest also, I did not understand anything else in that, because it was drawn in some technical language in Hindi. So I asked him, I said, sir, this word, Dadwa, the village name, what does it mean? I thought that when I go to Swami, Swami will ask me. So I said, sir, please tell me the name of word Dadwa, meaning of word Dadwa. So this gentleman tells me, sir, Darad means snake holes. This land was full of snake holes. We named it Dadwa. This was the shocking thing for me to discover that how Swami was already ahead of us. Because we all know what Puttaparthi means, land of snake holes in Telugu. And so this coincidence was not only a coincidence for me, but Swami was doing everything. So this is how we were to discover all this. I took that resolution. I quickly reached Puttaparthi. After I reached Puttaparthi, I was sitting in darshan line, holding that piece of resolution in my hand. Swami was walking towards me. I was looking at the resolution. Suddenly, again one monkey mind thought came into my mind. I thought that I should have translated this document into English so that I could make it, give it to Swami in English. And by that time, Swami reached me and pointed at the date. Look at the date, Swami said. Look at the date. I thought that probably date was only in figures. Rest all was in Hindi. So Swami would have seen the date. This is what I thought. So that date was 17 July. So I narrated, Swami, it is 17 July. Do you know what is this? I said, no, Swami. That was Guru Purnima day. I said, oh, yeah, yes, Swami, it was Guru Purnima day. Do you know the significance of Guru Purnima? I said, no, Swami. Guru Purnima means, I take a vow for you. Till this project is complete, sun will not set on it. This is my vow for you. We were to discover all these things because Swami wanted us to learn everything from him. The smallest thing which he used to teach, smallest things which he used to do, we were to learn. I still remember once we were going to Kodaikanal, Swami was with us. We stopped over at a place in Benarghatta forest. So the watchman was not there. Swami was waiting for the watchman for a long time. Finally, Swami told us that you look for some table. We went behind, we looked for a table, we brought it. Swami kept food on it, fed us with his own hands. And we were all sitting around Swami. Sometimes later, the watchman walked in. And immediately he was taken aback that, there was a mismatch of time. He had missed these timings when Swami was to arrive. He started feeling apologetic. Swami said, don't worry. Swami loved him a lot. And then he said, Swami, you have to come inside. I was preparing for you for so many days. So Swami walked with all of us inside the guest house. As he was moving, Swami told Brother Radhakrishna to fetch an envelope. Brother Radhakrishna brought an envelope. We all would have missed it, thinking that it is an ordinary thing. Swami handed over that envelope to this watchman. He opened it. There were pictures which Swami had clicked with that watchman and his family previous year. In his previous year's visit to that place, some student must have clicked those pictures. He would have presented those pictures to Swami. Swami would have retained those pictures with him for 1 year. And during this visit, Swami took care to carry those pictures, to bring that joy on the face of this watchman. That shows how simple things, little things, Swami used to tell us to do in perfection. We can all imagine his omnipresence, his omnipotence, but his perfection in little things. This is what Swami used to tell us. Because Swami used to say, when you look at me, you become mine. There is no difference in you and me. And if there is no difference, then we should all be like him. This was very simple way of his telling us that once we have come into his fold under his umbrella, Sai's umbrella, he only expects us to be his. And for that, we have to demolish that wall which separates us from him. He always used to tell us that I am waiting for you. to enter, because very simple way used to tell that, see, I am always standing outside your heart. You are not opening the door. You are not opening the door to let me enter. And when I enter into your heart, I see trash. I see rubbish. Why don't you keep your heart clean? One day, he went to the extent of telling us, you are all dustbins. Carry so much of dust, carry so much of dirt, rubbish in your mind that I am not able to enter your heart. If you keep yourself clean, if you keep yourself pure, I'll walk inside your heart. I'll stay there. This is all I want from you. Where else in the history of humanity there will be an event where Avatar is telling us that open your heart, open your heart's door, install me there with all purity, and I'll stay there forever. This is Sai Avatar telling us, and repeatedly, day in and day out, we are listening to this. We are listening to this reality. This is Veda, Sai Veda, which we all are here to imbibe. And that is what makes us all special, that we are contemporaries of Sai Avatar. I always thought that when I was practicing in the legal world, it would be difficult for me to implement what he is telling us. Because usually I thought that legal world is different. It so happened that once I was sitting on my table, there was a lady who was a widow. She came to me. She narrated a very tragic incident that she lost her husband and son in a tragic road accident. And now she was left with the house of her husband. So she wanted her husband's house to be transferred to her, and she had some dispute with her mother-in-law and all those things. So she showed me some blank signed papers signed by her husband. She said, "Sir, can you scribe some will on these papers and help me?" She left those papers with me. There is a big picture of Swami in front of my table. I was looking at Swami all the time. I told her, "Ma'am, you can come tomorrow morning." Next morning she came. I returned her file to her and I said, "Ma'am, sorry, I cannot help you. Because whatever I will be doing falls in the domain of forgery. I cannot commit forgery. I will not advise you to commit forgery. So please, sorry, I will not be able to handle your case." She tells me that, "Sir, suppose you are to handle my case. How will you fight my case?" I said, "Ma'am, I will take your blank signed papers, present it to the judge, and tell him that at least my client is truthful. She has not misused any of securities. She had the blank signed sheets. She never misused them. So probably I will be able to get his fairness, and rest all is what we are able to prove." She said, "Okay, go ahead, you fight my case." Now what happened, for our good fortune, her sister-in-law produced a will in the court. Now there was a witness who was a lawyer who came to depose in the court in support of her sister-in-law's will. As he was deposing, he looked at me and looked at the clock. So he told the judge, "Sir, can I depose after lunch? It's already lunchtime." I did not understand anything at that time. During lunch hours, he met me. He told me that, "Sir, this will is a forged document. Your client's mother-in-law was already dead when we put her thumb marks on this. And I am ready to state this in the court." I said, "Sir, yes, then you must tell it in the court." So he said, "Sir, but only problem is, orally I cannot tell because I did this mistake." I said, "You can draft your affidavit and present it to the judge." In the lunch hours, we drafted that affidavit. Immediately after lunch hours, he brought that affidavit and gave it to the judge. He said, "Sir, I want to be truthful. This will is a forged document. Actually, that lady was dead when we scribed this will." So naturally, that case was decided in our favor, and this lady got the house. But what I got in return was the belief that Swami is there taking care always, all through. What he wants us to be righteous. He wants us to be pure. If we have purity, if we love him, if we love his word, regardless of the field where we are, he is bound to help us. This is what he promised, and this is what he is fulfilling. I still remember very little things, how he helps. The village doctor who is running our hospital, once he arrived in my house early in the morning. It was a very cold morning of January, Chandigarh. He says, "Sir, we need 100 packets of vibhuti." You know, we all know 200 grams vibhuti packet, which we get from Puttaparthi. He says, "Now in the village, patients are coming, they are not asking for medicine, they are asking for vibhuti." So I said, "Sir, I do not have 100 packets. I may have 2 or 3 in my house. I can ask someone else. Maybe I will be able to arrange 4 or 5. He said, "Sir, I am here till evening. I want 100 packets. I said, "Okay, we'll pray to Swami. Let's see." Normally, I would not go to the district court in Chandigarh, which is located just adjacent to the bus station. That day, I was to go to the district court. It was a very crowded place, very crowded place. I did not know how will I park my car, but suddenly I saw a slot arranged as if for me. I was reversing my car and parking it. Suddenly on the road berm in my back view mirror, I was seeing some yellow cellophane papers, golden papers on the road berm. And it crossed my mind that as if I am seeing vibhuti packets. Then I checked myself. I said, "No, since morning I am thinking about vibhuti. So probably I will see vibhuti in everything." I locked my car. I was in my lawyer uniform. Still I looked back. I went back and I saw vibhuti packets spread there on the road berm. I quickly returned to my car. I saw an envelope. I started putting vibhuti packets. I started counting simultaneously. And some people, they came and stood around me thinking what this lawyer is picking up early in the morning. 99 full packets, 1 open packet from which I tasted vibhuti. I quickly packed them, came to my house. My clothes were all soiled, or they had carried the color of vibhuti. I called up this doctor gentleman. I said, "Just now I received an air courier. Your vibhuti has come." And I handed over vibhuti packets to him. He was supremely happy. This was not the end of the story. I retained few packets for prasadam for myself. Many people I called, I told, "I have received some special vibhuti prasadam. You come and take it." One friend of mine called me. He said, "You must keep vibhuti for me. I need it." Evening 8 p.m. he walked to my office. He says, "Vivek, you note down the address of courier." I said, "Which courier?" He said, "One who delivered vibhuti to you." I said, "What is his address?" He said, "I am going to tell you." Now, he narrated this story to me. His brother-in-law was the convener of Shimla Samiti. Shimla is adjoining Chandigarh in Himachal Pradesh. So he was the convener of Shimla Samiti. He was returning from Puttaparthi. From Delhi, he caught a bus to reach Shimla, which stopped over at Chandigarh. He had carried a carton containing 100 packets of vibhuti. Because it was prasadam, he had kept it on the adjoining seat, not to be kept down. So he had bought 2 tickets, one for himself, one for vibhuti packets. At 12 in the night, middle of the night, he got down to make a call to his wife that I'll be arriving at 4 a.m., so you open the door and all that. When he returned back, vibhuti carton was missing. He was taken aback. All the way he was crying that some thief must have taken it. He must have thrown it somewhere. What will he do with Vibhuti? But we all know Sai thief, Sai Krishna. He had taken Vibhuti. He had placed it at a place where I was to park my car. He reserved that place for me. And I got Vibhuti Prasadam in this manner. So, this is our Swami doing everything for us, even committing thefts, making people worried, but then at the same time, reassuring us all the time that He is always with us. This is the beauty of our Sai Ma, that all the time she is with us. All we need to do is, we need to discover that we are with her. If we are with her, He is always with her. Can I? Okay, Sairam. I thought that I must check up. So, now what I am going to tell you, that how He takes complete care of all of us, we cannot believe it. Because whenever He assigns us a task, He will make sure that He will fulfill it. Because it is His task. The moment we will carry out a task in His name, He is going to do it. I remember when He told us, He says, when you run this project, hospital, school, vocational school, you have to run it free of cost. Don't charge anything. Don't collect money. Money is my responsibility. Morality is yours. All the time He will say, if you are pure, everything will happen. So once it so happened that we decided to construct a state-of-art basketball court. So it was a beautiful basketball court. Some of the members were telling us that, sir, if we construct this basketball court, it will cost us 11 lakh rupees. Should we give such a good basketball court to the village children? I said, no, we must give it, because let us give the best. So we all decided, prayed to Swami that we are constructing this basketball court and all state-of-art facilities, everything. So that basketball court was inaugurated. Incidentally, I was in my office. I got an email on my PC from the village telling me that this is the shape of this basketball court. I opened that email and I was seeing that beautiful basketball court. And I was thanking Swami that, Swami, thank you very much for giving us such a lovely basketball court. By chance, two gentlemen were sitting in front of me. So they asked me, they said, sir, what is this? I said, sir, this is Swami's village school where we have installed this basketball court. So along with the picture, there was a small note by the gentleman who had sent me that mail telling me that this has cost us 11 lakh rupees. The gentleman took out a check, wrote the figure of 11 lakhs and told, sir, what name should we write? What is the name? And I, without even thinking, I told Sri Satya Sai Gramin Jagrati. So he issues a check of 11 lakhs to me. They said, sir, this basketball court is from our side. Now, I was looking at them and I was thinking that if this is the way Swami is doing it, who am I to block anything? Because one thought which Swami has given us, be pure, and He'll take care of us. He takes care not only of all our business, profession, whatever vocation we are doing, He takes care of our families also. I remember with a lot of pain also and happiness at the same time. Once I was in my court doing my cases, suddenly I received some calls, one after the other, from my wife. Normally in the court I will ignore them, but that day I picked up the call. My wife telling me that my 4-year-old daughter had fallen from roof. I was taken aback. So she said, quickly you come back. I rushed, looked for my car. Somehow I was not able to even drive my car. As I reached my house, only one word I was repeating all the time as we were driving my car, Sai Raksha, Sai Raksha, Sai Raksha. I reached my house. My mother and my wife, they were standing outside with my daughter in their lap. And they quickly jumped into the car. And I asked them where to go. And before I could hear anything, my daughter spoke to me. She said, Papa, I am fine. I have no pain. I don't want to go to any hospital. These three words were not uttered by my daughter. They were actually uttered by Swami. Swami reassuring me that everything is fine. See, she is able to talk to you. Immediately I felt reassured. I thanked Swami that I could hear the voice of my daughter. I went to a doctor. He examined her. He told me, sir, there has been a miracle. She's fallen from 13 feet. But it seems some hand has saved her. She is not hurt. She is able to talk. She has no injury. This was something unbelievable. I could not believe that this has happened. But when he narrated it to me, we had to believe that the Savior in Sai is always with us. Because when he has promised us, and I am going to take care of your lives, he is bound to take care of us. Come what may, he is going to take care of us. So this is how all the little promises which he has kept, he is fulfilling. I cannot forget to narrate one very nice incident. It so happened that school principal once called us. She said, sir, winters are setting in. We have 500 children. They are all without shoes. We need to present shoes to them. So we said, okay, let's arrange shoes. So the doctor gentleman who is looking after the hospital, he tells this lady that next day in the morning assembly, she should take a footprint of all the children with their names so that we are able to know what sizes, how many pairs to be ordered for each size and all that. This was probably 10 a.m. Now in 12 in the noon, two boys come on a scooter with a carton. They approach the principal that, ma'am, we have brought shoes. She says, Doctor Sahab has sent? He says, yes, Doctor Sahab has sent. Line up all the children. Now this lady is seeing that children are coming, they are taking a pair of shoes, but nobody is returning back saying that this size is not matching or something. Students took away all the shoes and that box, carton box, is producing one after the other pair. Children are taking it and this lady is not able to know, not able to comprehend what is happening. After the children had taken away the shoes, the gentleman on the scooter say that, ma'am, we are still left with some more shoes. What do we do? So she says, 100 meters from here there is village. Please go to the village, you will find more children. That gentleman tells this lady that, ma'am, where is the village? She said, just go straight. He says, no, we would be lost. Please tell us properly. So she goes out of the gate and she says, this is the way. And those two gentlemen go away. She comes inside. After the school is over at 2 o'clock, she goes to Dr. Sahab to offer her thanks and says, Dr. Sahab, thanks for the shoes. He says, ma'am, you have to give me the size. Then only I will order. And she says, no, we have got shoes for the children. This doctor gentleman literally ran out, caught one of the child, touched his feet to feel the shoes. And this lady later on recalls that those two gentlemen who did not know the way, who did not know which road would lead to the school or which road would lead to the village, who actually they were. And why did the children not come back to exchange the size? Because it was Sai himself who had come all the way to even fulfill this little, very little wish. Because if he can give us sweet, if He can give us shoe, we all know He can give us anything. We just have to ask. If we ask our mother lovingly, what will she not give us? And this is Sai Mother. I was feeling so blessed when Sir took me to this place where Swami used to come, because that vibration which Swami has left in all of us, that is one vibration which we will never ever lose in our lives. That is one vibration which is bound to fulfill its purpose. And that purpose is, we are all only for Swami. We all have one identity, and that identity is, we are Swami's devotees, Swami's students. This one identity is enough, not only for this birth, but for many births together. So this is what I thought that I'll share these small incidents of Swami. All I say is, we pray to Swami, all of us together. Okay, thank you. My brother tells me that I can still continue for some more time. Now, recollecting few of the incidents, I remember when we got gift of this 27-acre land, and I came to Swami, and Swami pointed out that date to me. I, out of my innocence, tell Swami that, Swami, should I build boundary wall around this 27-acre land? And Swami mocks at me. He says, Pichoda, do you know the cost of 27 acres land boundary wall being constructed? How much it will cost you? I said, no, Swami. He said, this project is not going to have any boundaries. Only love, seva, sadhana. You build this project on love, seva, sadhana. That is the foundation. Rest all will come to you. Go and work. Your duty is love, seva, sadhana. I said, yes, Swami. So we came back. That time I did not realize that Panchayat had only given us a resolution. We required permission from government to get this land. And permission from government was not easy. It was a very tough job. So we applied to the government. One very secretary level officer, he called us. I sent my slip. He called me inside, looked at me. What do you want? I said, sir, one file has come to you for the gift of 27-acre land, which we need you to approve. He probably abused me in dirtiest possible language. And he asked me to get out. He says, have you ever seen your face in the mirror? Get out. He threw me out of his room. I came out. I started crying. I said, Swami, what has happened? Where did I go wrong? Whole night I was crying. I was praying to Swami. In the night I had Swami's dream. And Swami asked me, go to Delhi. I said, okay. Next morning I got Delhi bus and started for tour to Delhi. As I was sitting in the bus, a thought crossed my mind that where in Delhi? So I started thinking, praying to Swami, Swami, where in Delhi? I am about to reach Delhi. Then another thought came in my mind. I said, let me make a list of Swami's devotees in Delhi. I'll go to one of the devotees. I'm being very candid and honest to tell you. First name I wrote was Shankar Dayal Sharma, Vice President of India. But I crossed it. Next name, Shivraj Patil, Speaker Lok Sabha. I said, yes, he had come there when I was studying. So I located his address somewhere and went and stood outside his house. The guard asked me, what do you want? I said, sir, I want to meet the speaker. He says, he will not meet you. Do you have an appointment? I said, no, I have not got any appointment. No, you have to go to his chamber in his office, then get the appointment. He does not meet people like this. I said, okay, sir. I just said, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. I drew my steps back. Suddenly I saw a car coming towards that side. And a gentleman got down from the car, came to me. Sir, what is your issue? I said, sir, I want to meet the speaker. Then he asked me, who are you? Then I narrated, sir, I am an ex-student. He said, then why are you waiting outside? Come inside. He took me inside, made me sit in the drawing room. He was Mr. Shivraj Patil's son, Shailesh Patil. I did not know him. So he made me sit there. Speaker came, Mr. Patil, and he asked me, sir, how can I help you? I narrated to him, sir, we got this gift of 27-acre land. Now this needs government permission. So the government people are not helping us. He said, don't worry, I'll help you. He called his secretary, dictated a letter in the name of Haryana Chief Minister, that Mr. Chief Minister, this boy is coming to you. Don't look at this boy, but look at Baba's blessings. If Baba's project comes up in Haryana, it will be good fortune of state of Haryana, like that he dictated. And he handed me a copy of that letter and also posted one letter directly to the Chief Minister. With that letter, we came to the CM Haryana. I'm talking of 1989 or 1990. We walked into CM Haryana. I showed him that letter. He says, yes, I got this letter from the Honorable Speaker. Tell me, how can I help you? So I told him that, sir, this is how the permission had come, but the secretary does not agree with us. He says, don't worry. So he constituted a 3-members committee and asked me to appear in front of it, the committee. Now, this gentleman also was one of the members of the committee. So this 3-member committee called us for meeting. I am narrating all this for a very special reason, which I also will discuss just now. So the committee called us. The gentleman asked me some questions, the same gentleman. What are your credentials? Do you have a bank account? How much money you have in your bank? You think you will set up a hospital, school, vocational school. Do you know its cost? What is this cost? Show me your book. And in that book, it was written 50 crores. He said, do you know how many zeros are there in 50 crores? I said, no, sir. And he mocked at me. Other 2 gentlemen, they were looking at me. This time, all the time I was saying, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram inside. So, after he had finished, maybe 10 minutes, he took out everything which was inside his heart. Then he was very calm. Then I said, sir, if you don't mind, may I say something? He said, yes, tell me. I said, sir, in this country, the most strong body, the most powerful body, the most capable body, and the most rich body, the body with funds, is government. He said, yes. I said, sir, if that is so, then the place where we want to set up a school, hospital, that was 1990, I said, in last 50 years, why no school, why no hospital, why no vocational school has come up in the radius of 70 kilometers? I said, sir, I am not saying that government is not capable. All I am saying is, government needs an extended arm. We are an NGO. We want to take that very dream of government through our prayers and efforts. I said, sir, so many times you people in public speeches are telling that youth of India, once they acquire qualification, they get lost. I am a youth. I acquired the qualification. I am practicing in the High Court as a lawyer, but I still want to work in the village. You allow me to work, put any conditions, but allow me to use this land. I want to put some project there. We have the dreams. We do not have funds. I am sure those dreams will become a reality. Allow us to do something. If we violate any of the conditions, you can recall. So the other 2 gentlemen also, they supported me. They said, sir, kindly wait outside. Thereafter, they passed a very unique order. The order was that Sri Satya Sai Gramin Jagriti is allowed the gift of this 27-acre land, but not as a owner, as a user. and so, they put 2-3 government officers as our permanent members. And they said, so long as it continues to do all voluntary activities, this land will remain with them. Now, why I shared all this with you is, if Swami has to give us, he will devise the ways. He knows how to give us. Only thing is, we just have to pray to him. We just have to call him. If I think that I can go with my frame and with my so-called fame and name to some person and say, sir, please allow, nobody will allow. It is only when we go with the sense of surrender, with the sense of belief in him, that it is his work, it is bound to happen, it will happen. Because what Swami has promised? Swami has promised that I will do anything for you. Yesterday was Janmashtami. There is a very famous anecdote that once sage Vyasa was walking by the side of Arjuna's house and he found Lord Krishna washing the Ratha. And he started crying, thinking that Lord Krishna in this birth, in this avatar, has taken upon himself a duty even to wash the horse's feet and the Ratha of Arjuna. For what reason? Reason is descent of God for ascent of man. He has come down to take us at his level. This is the belief which we all must have, that this Sai avatar has only one task. That is our transformation to the level where we all can say that we are the children of Sai. We have the same element of purity. And he will say, yes, you are my children, you have the same divinity which I have. This he has to say. So this is the belief that Swami wants us to have. So I pray that Swami, you bless us. We all are there at your feet, and the mission for which you are here, we all are a part of that because of your grace. Sai Ram.
Swami's ways are mysteriously unique. So I'll go back to what brother said in the beginning about how Swami would play around with his name. So the question was, is it Hamara Vivek or is it Hammer Vivek? I think the alumni brother sitting here would understand this even better, because the word hammer had a very specific connotation in the hostel. But then I have a slightly different view to this, brother. In fact, brother, I think you've been both. You are anyway Hamara Vivek even before you came here. And because we're all part of Swami, and then we're all Swami's children. But I also think today you were specifically sent here to play the role of Hammer Vivek. Because what a hammer does is to hit the nail. And I think, brother, you hit the nail on the head. Am I right in saying so? And you hit the nail with every single episode that you narrated. And I think you maintained a consistency with respect to the underlying message. While the experiences, the stories, the anecdotes may have been different, I think they all pin down one basic thought, one basic conviction, and the fact that Swami is still with us. That if we have faith in Swami, if we stick to what he says, if we have got love for Swami, we focus on love, seva, sadhana, and we are constantly connected to Him, His power automatically flows through us. And I think, brother, that's the point you made through every single episode. We are very grateful to Swami for having sent us a living model of what His teachings are. Brother, as a small token of our love, we are requesting TGK Uncle, Sri TG Krishnamurthy, former State President, Sri Satya Sai Organization, to hand over a small memento as a token of our affection. Thank you so much, brother. Jai Sai Ram.